Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're diving into a topic that, believe it or not, might be more important than any class you'll actually take in college. We're talking about financial literacy, basically learning how to master your money. So let's get right into the skills that will set you up for success, not just for the next 4 years, but for life.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think is the single most valuable course you're going to take in college? I'll give you a hint. You won't find it in the official course catalog, but getting this right, well, it's absolutely essential for building the life you want.
It's this, learning how to manage your own money. Seriously, the skills we're about to cover, from budgeting to building your credit, these are the things that will pay you back over and over again for the rest of your life. So, let's get to it.
Okay, first things first. On any journey, you have to know where you're starting from, right? So before we even dream about future goals, we need to get a clear, honest picture of where your finances are at this very moment. No judgment here, just the facts.
This right here is called a personal financial statement, and I know it sounds super formal, but it's really simple. On one side, you list what you own, your assets. Think cash, your laptop, anything of value. On the other side, what you owe, your liabilities. That's stuff like student loans or a credit card balance. Then you do the simple math. Assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. That number, right there, is the most important score for tracking your financial progress over time.
Now, you might look at that example and see a negative number and kind of freak out. But hold on, don't panic. It is completely 100% normal for a student to have a negative net worth. You have to reframe how you see it. You're not just in debt. You're making a huge investment in your most valuable asset, you, your education, your skills, and your future ability to earn money.
All right, so we've got our baseline. We know the big picture. Now it's time to zoom in and focus on the day-to-day. This next part is all about building the small habits that give you real, actual control over where your money is going.
Let's talk about the B word, budget. I know, for a lot of people, that word just screams restriction and no more fun. But we need to flip that script. A budget isn't a cage. It's a plan. It's a tool that puts you in the driver's seat, empowering you to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It's all about being intentional.
If you're wondering where to start, the 50-30-20 rule is a fantastic, simple framework. Here's how it works. You take your income, and about 50% of it goes towards your absolute needs, things like rent, groceries, and utilities. Then 30% is for your wants. You know, going out, streaming services, that new video game. And then, and this part is crucial, 20% goes towards your future, savings and paying down debt. But listen, 50-30-20 isn't the only game in town. If you're the kind of person who loves detail and precision, zero-based budgeting might be your thing. You literally give every single dollar a job to do. Or, if you're a more hands-on, visual person, the envelope method is amazing. You put cash for different categories into actual envelopes. When the eating out envelope is empty, well, you're done eating out for the month. The goal is to find the system that clicks for you.
Okay, let's move on and tackle the two topics that can feel the most intimidating for students, debt and credit. I get it, they can be scary, but understanding how these two things work is absolutely foundational to building a solid financial life.
First off, you gotta know that not all debt is created equal. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Think of good debt, like your student loans, as an investment in something that's gonna grow in value. Your education, which leads to a better job. Bad debt, on the other hand, is usually high-interest debt on things that lose value, like using a credit card for a fancy dinner or fast fashion. That's the stuff that can really drag you down.
So let's talk about your credit score. It can feel like this big, mysterious number, but it's really not. Just look at this chart. The two biggest pieces of the pie are your payment history, do you pay your bills on time, and your credit utilization, which is just a fancy way of saying how much of your available credit you're actually using. Together, those two things make up a whopping 65% of your score. That tells you exactly where you need to focus.
But what if I'm starting from scratch, you ask? Great question. Here are 4 super practical ways to start building credit from zero. You could become an authorized user on a parent's credit card. Or you could get a secured card, where you put down a small deposit that becomes your credit limit. Both of those are fantastic, low-risk ways to get your foot in the door.
If you remember only one single thing from this entire section, please let it be this. This is the golden rule. You must always pay at least the minimum payment on time every single month. No exceptions. Doing this one thing consistently feeds that giant 35% payment history slice of your score.
It is the most powerful credit-building habit you can have.
So far, we've kind of been playing defense, managing our spending, taming our debt. Now it's time to switch to offense. This is where things get really exciting. This is where we talk about how to make your money start working for you.
To understand how to build wealth, you have to understand one key concept: compound interest. It's been called the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. It's like a magic snowball. It's not just earning interest on your initial money, it's earning interest on your interest. Let me show you just how powerful that is.
In this chart right here, this is why being young is a financial superpower. Look at this. If you invest just $100 a month, starting at age 20, by the time you're 65, you could have around $271,000. But if you wait just 10 years and start at 30, that number drops to $147,000. That's nearly double the money just because you started earlier. Time is your single greatest asset right now. A vague wish like, "I want to save more money," is almost designed to fail. To make real progress, you need clear targets. The SMART framework is a great tool for this. It forces you to make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So instead of "save money," your goal becomes, "I will save a $1,000 emergency fund by December 31st by automatically transferring $84 from my checking to my savings account each month." See the difference? That's a goal you can actually achieve.
And that brings us to the end, which is really just the beginning. The most important part is taking action. Knowing all this stuff is great, but actually doing something is what will change your life. So my question to you is this: what is the very first, tangible, smart financial goal you are going to set for yourself? Think about it, write it down, and take one tiny step toward it today. Trust me, your future self is going to thank you for it.